For those of you that are new to my page, my name is Shilamida. I am a lifestyle and transformation mentor. I am also a three-time best-selling author. This is my very first book, 31 Days of Gratitude, Create the Life You Desire. And for the first portion, I want to talk about wellness. I just did a live on a program called Sprint Set, and it's all about eating healthy and losing weight and, shifting your life. And, we get so overwhelmed when it's time to make decisions for ourselves. And I like to remind people that I used to be 250 pounds. I was a single mom living on food stamps, so everything was overwhelmed for me, right? I shopped at the Dollar Tree, like that was where I bought my cleaning products, my toothpaste, that's where I bought a lot of my food. It's what I could afford, right? And it took a lot to stop doing that and to shift my thinking and my worth and knowing that I was able to shop at other places. So, back then I used to eat McDonald's, Subway, pizza, fast food seemed like the right thing to do because it was cheap, right? And I could feed myself and my son for like $5-6. I'm sure prices have gone up since now. I haven't walked into a fast food restaurant. I can't even tell you the last time it was. But in the beginning, when I was first starting to learn about this stuff, I had every excuse in the book, which I'm sure you do too. I can't afford organic. I can't afford to eat that way. That's just not in my budget, right? And so the first thing we need to do is we need to stop saying I can't afford it, because you can afford it. It's just, how are you choosing to spend your money? Because a lot of people that tell me they can't afford things are carrying around Louis Vuitton bags and Gucci wallets and then telling me that they can't afford something that's healthier for them. So it's all a matter of priority. And what we have to remember is money is energy. And if you really desire it and you put your focus on it, then it's going to come to you no matter what. So in the beginning, when I was not able to afford things, or I thought I wasn't able to afford things, it was hard for me to make the switch. But then I realized that my food stamps actually worked at Whole Foods. And that was a game changer for me, right? Because I would go to Whole Foods, I would shop the sales, and I would figure it out. And I started with fruits and vegetables because that's something that I didn't eat. I did not know what kale was. And it's funny because my fiance owns a produce company, but literally 3 months before I met him, I had an acupuncturist tell me that I should eat more blood nourishing foods, which are kale, spinach, beets, stuff like that. And I looked at her and I laughed, and I'm like, if you were to pay me right now, I could not walk into a supermarket and tell you what kale looks like. And by the way, here I am 11 and a half years later into this journey, and I just went to Whole Foods, and the lady that cooks for me asked me for a leek, and I did not know what I was looking for. So it's a journey, right? And we don't become experts overnight, and we don't learn everything overnight. So this is your reminder that every little bit that you could do is the important way to do it. And what's really important to know is that we are all in a different phase and stage of life, right? And so we look at things and we're like, oh my God, I can never do that, because we're always looking at the lack, right? So if you're going on a diet or you have to lose weight, you're focusing on, I have to lose and I can't eat this, instead of I'm making myself better and I can eat this, right? So in my acupuncture practice for all the years, I would always encourage people to go gluten and dairy free, and people were always fixated on what they couldn't eat. And it was the same thing for me when I was first told to go gluten free. I was fixated on the fact that I couldn't eat pizza. Pizza is my favorite food. I love it dearly. I can't tell you the last time I had a slice of pizza, because once you cut the things out of your body stops craving the things. So it's a progression, and it's a stage, and it's phases that you have to go through, and it's making one step every day. And so today my suggestion was, if you're going to change one product in your home, change your toothpaste first. Because if your toothpaste has fluoride in it, it's prohibiting you from receiving the information that you need in order to make the real changes that you need to make. Because fluoride calcifies our pineal gland, and when our pineal gland is calcified, we cannot absorb the information. We lose our connection to know what is real and what's not real and what is truth. So I invite you to go take a look at your toothpaste. If your toothpaste is different colors, if it has ingredients in it like carrageenan, you want to make the switch. I highly, highly recommend that you do that. And if you guys don't know, I rep a company called Pure Haven. We are having the most incredible deal right now. If you spend $149 and you become a new preferred customer with me, you will get 5 free items. You're going to get a free shampoo, conditioner, exfoliator, charcoal mask, and a free mystery item. So definitely reach out if you want more information on that. But for my wisdom portion, I actually opened up to 2 pages, so we'll see how we do on time today if I can read them both. But for those of you that are new to my world and don't know, this is called 31 Days of Gratitude, Create the Life You Desire. It is actually not just a book, it is a journal. It is interactive. When I set out to write my first book was supposed to be called The Magic of Gratitude. And then when I really dug deep, I really realized that when I was first starting out on my spiritual journey, when I was on food stamps, I had a really hard time being grateful. I had a hard time seeing the abundance because I was always focused on the lack. I had a hard time knowing that my life was so much better than most people out there because my expectation of what my life was supposed to be like at that point was very different than where my life is at. And so I know a lot of you were in the same boat, and that is why I wrote this book, because a lot of times when we're first starting this journey, we don't know what to be grateful for, right? Like I always ask people if they're grateful, and the answer is always yes. And then I say, are you intentionally grateful 20 times a day? And they kind of look at me, and the answer is usually no. So on page 56 is day 28. This book takes you through 31 days, okay? So on day 28, it says, if you have not started the process yet, it is time to heal now. It is time to heal yourself. We all have lived through a lot. We all have the choice to play the victim or to shine our light. I hope you choose to shine your light. You are an inspiration. You give motivation. Share your knowledge with others. So before I get into the affirmations there, I want you to know that wherever you are on your journey, you are an expert for somebody else. You are a motivation for somebody else. So maybe you're not on a spiritual path, or maybe you are well into your spiritual path, but you don't feel you're as good as, you know, the mentors that you see on your timeline, or, you know, the coaches or the doctors in your world or whatever. But the truth is that if you have researched and made a decision to change one thing in your life, you become an expert for somebody else that doesn't know that information, right? If you go and you lose 5 pounds, you now become an inspiration for somebody who's been trying to lose weight and can't lose a pound, right? So we just need to start shifting our thinking and knowing that we are good enough, we are amazing, and that we are here to make a difference and a change. Even if your job is not that exciting, even if you don't aspire for huge things, you are a shining light in somebody else's life. Somebody out there is looking up to you right now. Not everybody needs to have an audience of hundreds and thousands of people in order to make a shift and a change in this world. And one of the most important things on this page is playing the victim. I am the first one to admit that I spent most of my life before 30 years old playing the victim. And there's plenty of times in the last 11 years that I played the victim, and I regret them now, right? But one of the things that I can tell you that I used to do, I used to be a major hypochondriac. And so I would have the littlest cut, bruise, bump, headache, whatever, and I would drive myself to the ER. And first I would get injected with some kind of drug because I liked it. And second, I knew that I would get a lot of sympathy and attention. Now, in the moment, I couldn't have told you that I was playing the victim, right? Because in the moment, I needed attention that I didn't know how to ask for. But Instead, I would create a scenario for myself that I was guaranteed to get some kind of attention off of, right? So a lot of people walking around are playing the victim, and we're actually living within a huge victim wound, right? What we've just experienced over the last 2.5 years is victim stories of groups of people who are now coming forward who want to, get some kind of satisfaction over the suffering that their ancestors went through, right? It's just a victim story because we're all sovereign beings. We all came here to be free. We're all living this life now. So why would we have to pay for things that people have done in the past? And why are we allowing for that to happen as a society when I have to pay for things that I've done in this lifetime and things that I've done in past lifetimes, right? Like that's what I'm working on right now. I'm not trying to pay for everything that my grandparents, their grandparents might have done, right? Or the leaders of this country or whoever it is that we're blaming. So we need to take ourselves out of the victim story and we need to hold radical responsibility for who we are and what we are here to accomplish. Okay, so the affirmations on that page is I am grateful for healing. I am grateful for growth. I am grateful for change. I am grateful for moving forward. I am grateful for improvement. I am grateful for strength. I am grateful I inspire. I am grateful I can serve others. I am grateful for opportunities to grow. I am grateful for peace. I am grateful for calm. And then on the next page, there's a quote from Wayne Dyer that says, heaven on earth is a choice you must make, not a place you must find. And I can guarantee you I've been living by that quote since I started learning this stuff, and it has shifted and changed my mind. And so I'm going to do another page for you today. It's day 13, page 26. Today is a new day. Right now is a chance for a fresh start. Take a few deep breaths, set a positive intention for today, and be grateful. I am grateful today is going to be an amazing day. I am grateful all of my encounters are peaceful. I am grateful I can help everyone I encounter with a smile. I am grateful for today. I am grateful I speak the right words with everyone I meet. I am grateful I lead with a kind heart. I am grateful I am patient with the world. I am grateful for change. I am grateful for love. So yesterday may have been a really tough day for you, right? Maybe something really terrible has happened. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you weren't kind to somebody. But today is a fresh start. Every single day is a fresh start. Every single hour is a fresh start. Every single minute is a fresh start, right? Because if we look at the trajectory of life, there are people who went to sleep last night that didn't get a chance to wake up today. There are people who are living life right now, and in an hour, they're going to die. And we just don't know when our time is up. And we take life for granted. And this summer, we had a cancer scare in my household. Ben Lover, for those of you that know him, actually had cancer. And there was a 4-day period where I thought that he was going to die. And I remember just loving on him and savoring every moment that I had and just being together and holding him and touching him. And here we are 2 months later, and life is so busy and life has moved on. And, I think back to that moment of we need to come back here always, right? Because we just don't know when our last minute is. It's like one thing when you get a diagnosis and you know that somebody is going to die, but most people, they just go, right? We don't know when that time is going to come. And so we take life for granted because we think that we have all of these years left to live. And the greatest lesson that I've learned in the last 2.5 years is to live in the now and to enjoy the moment, like this moment right now, to the fullest. And so the quote on this page is also from Wayne Dyer. I think there's a reason why I opened this up today. I am the creator of my own miracles. I am the master of my thoughts. I am that I am. The I am statements is beyond powerful. When you put behind it, whatever you put behind it, trains your brain to believe it. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am power. I am light. What are you? Use this page to affirm it to yourself and the world. So with my affirmations, there's always room for your own affirmations, and there's work for you to do in order to shift your thinking and your mindset. So wherever it is that you are, know that I am you and you are me. I was in poverty. I lived through grief. I lived through a breakup. I was a single mom. I understand what you are going through. I also understand what it's like to be an excuse maker. I used to be the biggest excuse maker of all time. And now I live life so different. My life is so abundant. I am so happy. I'm so free. I am so in love. And things just come to me easy when I try, right? Because my life here is to defy the impossible, to make it possible for you to understand that it's possible for you too. There was a time that I thought that wealth was not in the cards for me because I wasn't born that way, and I was an immigrant here, and it just wasn't supposed to happen for me. There was a time that I really desired that I wanted to be an author, I wanted to be a speaker, but I was 250 pounds living on food stamps. Who is going to listen to me? Well, here I am, changing the world one day at a time, doing what I can do, little by little, educating people, motivating people, helping people to really know and understand that this life is so beautiful and we don't have to suffer. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to suffer. I lived most of my life suffering, thinking that that's the way it was supposed to be. And then one day I realized it wasn't my suffering. It was ancestral suffering that I was making up for. And I made the decision that I wasn't going to suffer anymore. And I built and I grew my emotional intelligence to become the woman that I am today. And I'm so proud of her. And I love living this life. And I hope that you enjoyed this wellness and wisdom. I'm sending you so much massive love. If you want to grab a copy of this, it's available on my website, shilamida.com, or on Amazon. You can have it next day, 2 days, whatever. My other book is called From Food Stamps to First Class. You can read a little bit about my story, and I also have a children's book called I Am Grateful for My Life. I love you. Have the most wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Bye.